What up, good people? It's your boy, Mr. Anthony, and I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Mr. Anthony Show. Before we even get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on them notifications so that you can follow this movement we got going on over here. And also, you know I gotta show love to the people, because it ain't about me, it's about y'all. And without y'all, there's no me. So I appreciate any time that you spend with your boy. I appreciate y'all tuning in for sure. Now, if you ever felt like life just keeps giving you the same situation over and over again, right? Keep feeding you something that you really don't like to eat, right? Then today, we're gonna talk about something that's gonna change the way you see everything. Let's get into it. Now, let me ask you something real quick. Let's jump into this. Let me ask you something. Now, you do know all radio stations exist when you turn the radio off, right? When you turn it off, the radio keeps functioning, right? This never stops, right? The music is still playing. The conversations are still happening, right? All of these things consistently going on, whether you have the radio on or not, right? Whether it's on or not, it's still going. The conversation's still happening. The frequencies are still active. You're just not tuned into them. That's all. And even when you turn the radio on and choose a station, the other stations don't disappear. They still there. They still broadcasting, still available. You're just not hearing them because you chose a different frequency, right? Now stay with me, because life works the same way. Because most people, they just walk through life believing they don't have choices. They believe circumstances have been chosen for them. They think life just happens to them. But what they don't realize is that our brain, it works like a tuner, like a radio tuner. Your thoughts, your focus, your energy, your expectations, they decide what frequency we live on. And whatever frequency that we choose to lock into, it can become our reality. So look at it this way. If you're constantly tuning into fear, life sounds like fear. If you tune into chaos, everything feels chaotic. If you tune into disappointment, guess what? You start expecting disappointment. And your mind starts collecting proof to confirm what you already believe. That's how powerful the human mind is. We tend to forget some of these things, right? So your brain is always searching, always looking for evidence to support the station that you're tuned into. That's why two people can walk into the same exact situation and come out of it with two different experiences, right? One person says, man, this thing is falling apart. Another person be in that same situation and say, man, this is working out great for me. I don't know about you, bruh, but this thing right here is working out great for me. Same situation. Nothing changed outside of that. The only difference is the frequency that they're working on, the mindset, you know? And what most people just won't understand is that you don't find your reality. You tune into it. You get on the same wavelength as it, right? Let that just marinate on you. Let that sit in your mind for a second, all right? Let that sit in your mind for a second. See, when you believe everybody's against you, me against the world, the brain, it starts filtering life through that same lens. You'll get sensitive about a delayed text and look at it like it's rejection. Silence becomes disrespect. Criticism becomes an attack. Even neutral moments can feel personal because your station is broadcasting insecurity. Yeah. And now the world looks like proof that you're right. But what if you change the station, right? What if you went from WGCI to V103? What if you tuned into the frequency where everything is happening for your growth, not against you, but for you, right? Same events, different interpretation. What if you changed the station mentally, right? Different emotional result. All of these things can happen. Just a whole different life experience, period, can take place. You know what I mean? This is why the mindset isn't just, motivational talk. It's direction. Because look at it this way. The direction of your attention becomes the direction of your life. And hear me out. I know some people gonna hear this and think, so what you saying, Aunt? Bad things don't happen? Well, that'd be dumb to think, right? Because we know life is life. That's just what it is. Challenges are gonna exist on every frequency. It don't matter who you are or what the situation is. You know what I mean? But the meaning you assign to those moments, that's the station you choose. So the mindset that you have going into any particular situation, that's the station you're tuning into. That's the frequency that you're navigating at. Some people may hear rejection and believe that they're not enough. Another person to hear rejection and say, man, this just means I need to redirect things. Same signal, different tuning. Different tuning. That's what this is all about, man. Now, if this message is hitting you thus far, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on them notifications. Drop a comment telling me what frequency are you dialed in on right now. What frequency you've been living on lately. I want to hear from y'all. Now let's dig a little deeper into this thing, all right? Now, most people, they realize that they are addicted to certain emotional stations. You know what I mean? Some people are addicted to the struggle because it feels familiar, right? Some people are like that. Some people are addicted to drama because peace is boring to them. Some are addicted to being the victim. You know how those, everybody know them. Yeah, they the victim. They ain't did nothing wrong. They don't want to take no accountability because it feels too heavy on their shoulders. They can't handle it. And your mind will always pull you back toward whatever emotional station that feels normal to you. That's why change is uncomfortable for some people. When you switch frequencies, your brain feels unfamiliar territory. And it starts to tell you things. That brain of ours starts to tell you things like, yo, this isn't you, man. This is not gonna last. This feels fake, phony. But that discomfort that you're feeling is actually growth. That's what it is. We have to look at things differently. Not look at it like it's trying to pull you back. Maybe it's pushing you forward so that you can grow. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer that things don't happen to us, they happen for us. So when you first change a radio station, you hear static before you get the clarity, right? You be tuning that thing, you hear all little noises and shit. And then you finally hear the music. And a lot of people quit during the static. They think something wrong. Nah, that's just a part of it. Nothing's wrong. You just transitioning from one frequency to the next. That's all. Think about it. Think about it. People who always find opportunities, right? They always seem to land on their feet. Even when they fall off, they bounce back game is impeccable. They always bounce back, right? Always seem calm. Even through the storm, they seem calm. And you wonder, like, how do they do that? But tell me this, do you think they live in a different world than you? No, they don't. They just listening to a different station. They tune into possibilities. That's what they tune into. They tune into solutions. You know, they tune into lessons instead of losses. And their reality, it responds accordingly, you know? So here's something powerful for y'all. Check it out. Your environment can definitely influence your station too. So you gotta watch the company you keep. You gotta be mindful of the people around you because they represent frequencies. The conversations you listen to are frequencies. The content you consume, like this content right here, this good shit. But the content you consume is a frequency. So if you wake up every day tuning into negativity, arguments, gossip, fear, anger, then don't be surprised when your life starts surrounding you with that. And it starts to feel like noise or sound like noise, you know? But if you intentionally tune into peace, wisdom, discipline, and purpose, something is going to shift. Your reactions change, your patience, it grows, right? Things become a little bit more stable. Your confidence even changes, right? Your confidence goes through the roof. Your decisions improve, and suddenly life just feels a lot lighter. Let me say it that way. Not because the world changed, that didn't happen, but because you did. You made the change. And let me say something else to my fellas. Listen up to me, man. If you watching this right now, we're often taught to focus on results only, right? Results. We're result-driven sort of people. Money, status, validation. You know what I mean? But the real power is in controlling the station inside your mind. Seriously, we gotta change our frequency that we're operating on, because the man who masters his mind becomes more dangerous in the best possible way. He stops reacting emotionally to everything, man. He stops chasing validation. What good is that gonna do? Who you trying to impress? Besides the ones who really ride with you and rock with you. He stops letting the outside noise control his internal peace, man. He chooses the frequency. You choose your frequency, baby. And when you become intentional about what you tune into, your energy shifts. And people can feel that, man. They can feel it. You can feel the change. You can feel when things get a little lighter, when you start to let things go and not be wound so tight. You start to change your surroundings, the people around you. They just know something about you. The people around you know, they know something about you is different, much calm, you know, more grounded, unshakable. You feel me? And the reason they feel that is because you stop letting random signals dictate your damn life. You become the tuner instead of the listener. You the one running the station, not the one listening to the station. You feel me? So let's make things a little bit more practical, shall we? How do you change frequencies? How do you change the station? First of all, awareness. You have to notice what station you living on right now. You know, admitting that you have a problem, knowing what that problem is. So you got to start to ask yourself some questions. Are my thoughts mostly negative? Do I expect things to go wrong? Do I assume people's intentions are always bad? That's step one. Awareness, being aware of what's going on up here. The next, focus. Gotta be intentional with your focus. You know, you can't ignore reality. You guide your attention. Ask yourself better questions. Such as, what's the lesson here? How is this, whatever that is for you, how is it helping you grow? What opportunities exist inside the moment? Think about those things. Something else to consider, repetition, right? Most of us are creatures of habit. I know I'm the type of learner, I'm a hands-on learner. I could sit in a classroom and read a book all day long, but until I get my hands on it, it's not gonna sit. So repetition is everything, you know? You practice tuning into the right frequency on a daily basis. Every thought is a dial. Every reaction is a dial. Every decision moves you slightly left or right. And over time, your default station changes. Your frequency, it changes. All right? Now I want you to imagine something. Flow with me on this. Imagine waking up and automatically accepting good things. Period. The hell with the negative. Today's the day. Everything I touch is going to give me positive energy. Every thought is going to be positive. Every morning waking up with that mentality. Now imagine seeing setbacks as a setup. Imagine that. Imagine truly believing that things always working in your favor. How different would you move with that mindset? How different would you speak? How would you carry yourself? In what way? Versus what you're currently doing. That hasn't been working, right? That's the power of tuning your frequency. That's the power of understanding where you are now and where you're going. Before I close, I want y'all to remember this. Stations never disappear, my people. Let me get in on here so y'all can hear me and see me very clear. The stations never disappear. Fear still exists. Doubt still exists. Negativity still exists. But so does peace. So does clarity. So does purpose, faith. And every single day you get to choose what you listen to. You got control of it. You know what I mean? You don't control every signal in the air. No one does. But you absolutely control what you tune into. So do me a favor, do yourself a favor and choose wisely, because your frequency will become your reality. And your life is yours to control. And your life experience tomorrow starts with the station you choose today. If this message spoke to you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on them notifications. Share this with somebody who you know needs to hear it, and drop a comment and tell me, what frequency are you choosing from this day forward? I appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode of the Mr. Anthony Show. And you already know before I go, I got to show love to the people. Because it ain't about me. It's about y'all. And without y'all, there's no me. Until next time, peace and blessings.